funny. I realized I didn't put the intro, like the intro that we normally do, the animated intro, but you know what? It's fine. It's not the same characters, but it's the same people. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Today is October 3rd, 2022, and you are loved. That is a very important thing that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers and listeners at the beginning of each and every single one of these games. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we are playing up until this point, or you can go towards anywhere audiocasts are being made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions for myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to join us again at patreon.com/indooradventures. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, where do I go to ask these questions? There was like a mental fart pause on my half, but where can you go to ask those questions? You could post them in the Discord or in the Twitch chat. That's a great place to put them. Or you can join us on Discord, and we'll be able to see those questions even quicker. Again, the link can be found in the Twitch chat to the side, or the video or the description of this video or audio cast down below. But let's say you already support us on Patreon. You already support us on YouTube and Twitch and all of those other wonderful places, and you're trying to think to yourself, well, where can I go to help support this fantastic show even more? Guess what, Acorns? I got your back, quite literally, in fact, because if you go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, we got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, we got crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains, aprons, clocks, and we also have, in the year of 2022, face masks designed by our very own Cyberwolf 1201, where all of the proceeds of those face masks end up going to help support Doctors Without Borders. Same goes for the rest of our merch, so if you want to go and help support a good cause, you can again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. But that is it for my opening spiel. So I guess I'll lead into it. Hello, everybody. My name is the Indoor Adventurer, he, him, and tonight I shall be playing as Coxswain. We both go by him. Oh, Furball Granger. RJ.
Thank you. I was looking around for the order.
I posted it in the Zoom chat.
Oh, it did not. There it is. Hi, everybody. I'm RJ, and today I'm playing Sawbones. I go by he, him, and he goes by he, they.
What are you?
I'm human. Oh, Sawbones. Sawbones, a Warforged fighter, artificer.
Hello, everybody. I'm LB Hackema. I'm going to be playing Maximus, the Gif Bard. We both go by she, her.
Hoi, I'm Cyber. I use he, him, whatever. I play Lupin Louis de Carrier. He uses he, him. He is a human blood hunter cleric and werewolf.
I guess that leaves me. Hey, everybody. I am going to be your DM for tonight, as I was for the first part. My name's Wings, also known as Danae Keener. I'm going to get started with the recap that I wrote up conveniently. And if I mess up, it's because I didn't proofread. All right. Our pirate crew of the Tarnished Magnolia was charged by the pirate queen, Lady Antirna Mokenheel, to exchange a ransom of a plasmoid named Slip and their giant space hamster mount named Petunia to a distant moon called Optool on the frozen outer ring of wild space. Because the Magnolia is a living ship, our crew is one of the only pirate bands aboard the keel haul that can make this journey, because the treant aboard constantly refreshes the air envelope, and the journey requires long stretches of travel without making port. Lady Antirna Mokenheel assigned her second-in-command, Squab, and his goblin ballista team, Hefty and Lefty, to the mission. They've spent the mission so far plumbing the depths of Louis's ability to cook insects and arthropods. It's not clear whether or not he's just fattening them up for later. Things that have happened on this journey so far. There has been a murder comet attack in which you fought off two murder comets, and they almost murdered the tree wife. A pirate raid occurred, you being the pirates, and the raid occurring on a halfling farm planet. You dumped all of the Electrum that you raided into a lake. A A Chewinga rode in on a school of space guppies and has adopted the crew. Coxswain is in charge of taking care of it. He named it Little Cutie, but it seems to be smitten with Captain Maximus. But most recently, when we last left off, Lefty had gone missing, and during a thorough search of the ship, Louis sniffed out a charred spot that tastes suspiciously of goblin. I wanted to check in with the rest of the crew. I believe that Sawbones had searched the underside of the ship. Was there any other ways that you wanted to search the ship, my friends?
We were informed that there is there has been a merdier, yes?
Suspected.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's no other way that you guys want to search the ship before being informed of the charred spot on the floor.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, Louis found the charred spot on the floor, and Sawbones was peeking in through the hole in the hull, essentially.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, you-
supervising.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so Sawbones, you see Louis lick a charred spot on the floor and then gag.
No, bad. What's in your mouth?
It tastes like some charred goblin. You know, like blackened, but like not like blackened, like way too much.
Sawbones kind of crawls in through the hole of the hull and lands next to Louis, takes a knee and swipes at the dust, and you are right. This
No,
does taste
bad.
like. Ah, now I see how that's degrading. I apologize.
I love this fucking group. This is great.
We should probably inform someone.
I mean, Cap.
Oh, what is it? Oh, God, what is that?
Way too black and goblin.
Well, that's just. Oh. Oh,
I-
really?
I believe the culinary joke here is needs more salt.
Ain't
Oh,
no amount of salt gonna be able to fix that. Ain't even no slap your mama gonna be able to fix that.
We should
Maybe
stock more of
Tabasco.
that.
Right. Well, oh, right. Why don't you do a thorough examination, Sawbones, of this? See what you can figure out as far as how or why or what. I will gather the rest of the crew on the ship and we'll start our interrogations, yeah? I mean, questions.
I'll get the appropriate tools. And Sawbones spends 10 minutes casting Purify Food and Drink on the ashes to make them edible.
Mm-mm.
No. I do have that spell, though. Oh, just in case. You never know.
Look, we're gonna be
Uh,
stranded in wild space, and the only thing that we're gonna have to eat is gonna be purified goblin ash, and then who's gonna be laughing?
I don't
How
need
do
to
you
eat.
go about
I also have
performing
that spell.
your investigation/autopsy?
I mean, there's not really a
There's-
body for autopsy, but I have. Could we say in my lab there is like an alchemy kit and whatnot?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I have proficiency in alchemy tools, so
Sounds good to me.
Forensics, like yes, this is goblin DNA.
Indeed.
That'd probably be a medicine check, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Hey, how was your day? 17.
It's pretty good. What are you looking for exactly?
Confirming that yes, this dust is goblinoid in
Mhm.
nature.
Yes.
And
Yep.
if there is any trace amounts of, if they were burnt, if there was like some sort of ignition, like
You're looking
sulfuric
for-
base or like gunpowder or,
You're looking for cause of death.
yeah.
Hmm. I don't know if a 17 is good enough for cause of death from a pile
I can
of
assume they were
ashes.
burnt, though.
You can assume that they were rendered into a desiccated form. You cannot determine any sort of ignition source.
Cool. Sawbones appears on deck holding a stack of papers. We ran a paternity test, and it reads, "You are the father." Oh, I'm sorry. It is a goblin.
Right, we'll get back to the first one.
Yeah, just Coxswain looks over at little cutie and then like puts a hand over his chest. Then looks over at the tree. I didn't know you were carrying.
I'm sorry, I have some other files mixed in with my personal stuff.
You can't do that to me. I could have been a father. Already am a father of many, many children.
You do not need to be the father, you just need to be the father that stepped up.
Aye.
All
Anyway,
hands
on with your...
deck. Let's discuss this later. All hands on deck.
Okay. I do have a thing.
Coxswain, I swear to Christ. What?
Louis found the ashen remains.
Yes.
Is there a like if you light fireworks, you're gonna smell like accelerant and smoke. Is there a
Certainly.
trail to follow?
Give me a perception check.
I'm gonna take that with advantage because I am a big boy with a big schnoz. 21.
21. Sniffing around for any sort of like flame, gas, fuel, accelerant. Nothing aside from the lamps that are already on the ship. You find no sign of ignition around the area.
No smell of smoke that would be carried from anybody. Okay.
None whatsoever.
Whoever did it, they left no trail to follow.
Right. After the crew is gathered. All
I
right, you scallywags. What?
We could then assume that the fire was magical in nature if there was no ignition source.
What if it weren't a fire? What if it was some
Oh.
sort of like... could an acid or something do that?
What
There
about
are.
a disintegration ray? I've
Aye,
proposed?
that one, yes. If it were a disintegrate that could explain the hole in the wall that hasn't yet healed up.
Well, the hole in the wall was from the murder comets that we did fight earlier.
Could a murder comet have done this?
If it was
Perhaps we have
still-
a stowaway.
Aye.
Excuse me,
Oh.
Captain. I'll be inside of the Spelljammer seat for a moment.
Let's go and have a
Right.
jam session.
No. Oh, yeah.
Aye.
Right. All right, crew. There has been a terrible accident, as far as we can tell. Our dear friend, Squishy,
Lefty.
Lefty, has been found. Well, they're dead. That's all I can say. I don't know. I can't sugarcoat this at all. I'm very sorry.
They don't help with the taste.
Squab faints into Hefty's arms.
Now, don't worry. We'll get to the bottom of this as soon as we can. But who is the last person to see our dear friend Righty?
Lefty.
Lefty.
Hefty speaks up. Well, we all sleep inside our quarters. I'd have to say the last time we saw Lefty was last night.
And none of y'all are sleepwalkers, eh?
Well, not that I know of.
All right. And when you awoke this morning, he wasn't there, yes?
Not at all.
All right. Well, we've got to get to the bottom of what's happened. Are your kind averse to spontaneous combustion at all?
Averse to it, or
The
I
other one.
I reckon most of us are. Prone
Are-
to it.
Prone. That's a good word for it.
No, not as far as I know.
Right, okay.
Doesn't have any wild magic in his blood or nothing.
No, as mundane as can be.
Well, I think he was a very fine sailor. What did he do?
He manned the ballista, ma'am.
Right. The finest ballista manner I've ever seen on the ship.
He mostly aimed the ballista.
Right, and shot on was his aim.
Nah, he missed the only time he ever shot. On this ship, anyway.
But he was a fine soul to have about. Talking, conversing. Anyways, let's find out what killed him, eh?
Aye, Captain!
Right, okay. I feel like I should be casting something. I am a bard.
Is there some bard bullshit that you can do?
Captain,
I can hypnotize people.
my suspicions have been raised over this hefty. They were all in a group together, were they not?
To
To hear someone's betrothed speak so plainly about a partner. This raises some good thoughts to possibly have.
Right, or they had a very healthy relationship where they could see each other's flaws and accept them for it.
But when you're speaking about the recently deceased, you'd think
Fair,
that they would
fair.
say more than just they were all right and missed most of the shots they took.
That is also fair. However, the only person that I've been with who has died, I killed, so I don't have a really good baseline for it.
And good for you, ma'am. Good for you.
Mm.
All right, I'm
Right.
going to be going, Captain, and looking about.
All right, heavy one.
Aye, Captain.
Do you mind if I have a conversation with you about your dear beloved?
You already have, but you can continue your conversation.
I would like to do that, yes. Right, okay, so tell me more about them as a person. Were they the brave type or the curious type?
They were the type to take orders and not ask questions.
Oh, you fine type. I see why you like them so much.
Mm,
Did you have any lovers' quarrels we need to be knowing about?
no. As it
No,
turns out, no. I think you misunderstand. So pulls out like a little like business card with like a triangle that's missing one bar, and at the top of the triangle is Squab, and then Hefty and Lefty are on either side. It's all like, no, we are both Squab's lovers, but we had no such relations.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. Who's Squab?
Sorry, Sawbones walks past them and then pulls out a red marker, X's out Lefty, and then continues walking away.
Oh, that's a bit insensitive.
Oh,
He
my
was.
apologies.
He's the first mate of the other.
Right.
He's our
Squab,
point of contact,
Squab.
ma'am.
Squab.
You know, I
Right,
think I
right.
might just better stay here.
All right.
Yeah, no, that it does feel like it's been a long time since we've done any talking about each other.
No, I'm just doing this as the character who can't remember anything.
Of
They're
course.
they're not physically in my view sight, so I'd forget all about them. I'm like a dog in that way.
Aye, Captain.
Right.
Well,
Oh. My apologies. Lou, I didn't mean it like that.
no. Hey, that little relationship chart. There ain't anything else in there that we're missing. Like we're talking about this, right? Not like this or this.
No, I think it was more of a corner situation. There wasn't a connecting through line on Hefty and Lefty.
We're just talking about this.
Yes, I think that it
No,
was just
Right,
a
no other
singular
points.
point.
Aye.
Right.
Okay.
As a polyamory can be very confusing, Louis. I understand.
I appreciate the map you all had to navigate your waters, so to speak.
Right. Okay. So, but perhaps then, were there any issues you've been having in this relationship? Any you feeling left out, feeling like you're not getting enough attention, anything like that?
Give me a persuasion check.
Boy, will I.
Coxswain is looking at this card, thinking to himself, "X marks the spot, eh?" But it's like the fresh one that Sawbones drew.
28.
Very interesting. Hefty clams up a little bit, but you are like very persuasive and very understanding and very open. And throughout the conversation that follows, you're able to determine that Hefty had some reservations. He thought that maybe Lefty was favored a little bit more. And he was trying to make up for it by bringing Squabby more, like, as he calls them, bringing him more bugs and insects.
Mhm.
And like Hefty's a little bit competitive, as it were.
Mhm.
There seems to be something there.
Hey. I mean, y'all finish, but I have a question after.
No, go ahead. I'm just processing the conversation.
Where's Slip?
I believe he's down in the hold.
Oh, the little jelly boy.
Aye.
And it's Cal. I'm not gonna see him.
In the hold as well.
Scary, scary,
Right.
scary.
Oh, he's gone.
I'll follow after Louis to play Hungry Cop, Hungry Cop.
Hefty kind of like wipes a little sweat off his brow and says, "I'm glad that someone's going with him."
Right. No, Louis really is very quite harmless as long as they're not too upset.
You sure about that?
Oh.
Methinks he has a taste for goblin.
Well, in a pinch. No, I'm sorry. That's a joke. Of course it wasn't. Why don't you get back to work?
Aye, Captain. Turns around and
pinch
picks
a
up something
goblin.
heavy. He turns around and picks up something heavy. All right, you guys go down to the hold. As you descend, you can hear a slight rummaging as Slip seems to be digging about in their pack and looking at something, but they're slightly obscured by Petunia.
Just like slam my claws against the door.
Slip literally turns into a puddle and then
Hey.
like reforms themselves back into a humanoid, like just as normal as can be.
Hey, Slip, you in there?
Yes,
You all right?
you frightened me.
Sorry, we all a bit on edge. We don't had a murder on the boat.
Disquieting.
Where you been?
Down here.
Just like tear open the door. You been staying down here? Which big cow?
Yes.
Do I believe them?
Give me an insight check.
18.
You believe them.
All right.
Petunia
You-
gets lonely.
You been down here the whole damn time? Like this whole damn trip?
I have no reason to leave the hold.
What you been doing?
Where does the poop go?
Thinking, mostly. Writing in my journal. Petting Petunia.
I am gonna like invade his personal space.
Yeah,
Or
go for it.
Their personal space. So like
Yaha.
I just wanna like get around and like poke my nose in like their bag around Petunia, anything, just to see if I'm getting like any sort of scent of
They
burnt goblin.
physically try to stop you. Like they widen themselves to get between the bag and you.
I will pummel through them.
All
Like,
right.
have you tried to stop a Great Dane from sniffing through your shit?
I'm not gonna make you roll for this. I'm pretty sure that you can you can push past the goo person. You push past and stick your nose in that bag.
Do I explode?
No, you don't. You smell paper and ink, leather of a book, the lead of pencils, moon dust, and eggshells.
There's a big old sneeze.
Please do not do that again.
Ugh. Sorry, it was the moon dust. All right.
I have a shipment of moon rocks.
Coxswain, you got anything?
The rocks that you've been carrying, are they all rocks?
Yes.
Hell, we'll see about that. I don't know. What spells does he have? Okay. I think he'll ask, like, is it like one container of rocks? Is it multiple containers of rocks? What's the situation with these rocks?
Are you gonna get in that bag and start digging around?
With permission.
Oh, you don't get permission.
But I do it anyways. Fuck
All
this
right.
little nerd. Check it.
You get in that bag. You pull out some books, some journals, inkwells, pens, pencils, and a handful of rocks. One of them is fairly big. One of them's pretty medium sized, and there is a good number of like average to small sized rocks, and all in a variety of shades of gray.
He'll like start knocking them together, and I would like to use my primeval awareness to sense whether any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fey fiends, or undead are present within 1 mile of me. And I want to try and figure it out with these rocks.
I got a question about primeval awareness.
Yeah, sure.
Does it work on all of those things at once, or do you have to look for one specific thing?
To sense whether any of them are present within 1 mile.
All right, well, I gotta get it. Hold on, let me pull up a list.
Yeah, I already knew it. The rocks.
What are the things?
It's just the moon rocks.
No, I mean what's the primary awareness thing?
Aberrations, celestials, dragons, fey fiends, or undead are present within 1 mile. It doesn't reveal the creature's location or number. But we know who's on the ship.
There are celestials just sort of like there is always in the astral sea, or wild space, which is, a part of the astral sea, there is always an lying, just sort of fluorescent hum of celestial.
Mm-hmm.
But you sense undead and dragon.
Um. I'll use going all out on this fucking thing. I'm gonna use my speech of beast and leaf to speak out to Petunia. Be like, any of these rocks ever make any rumblings that you've seen?
Any rumblings from the rocks, love?
Yes. Are there more rocks than there, or there less rocks than there were when you started?
Would she be able to sense, would she be able to, is she a surveillance system? Can she see down there?
I was talking to Petunia, not Magnolia. I was speaking to the
Shit.
to the giant hamster that's right there.
Okay. Hold on. I got my flower names mixed up.
Just screaming. Lots of screaming.
Okay. You
Hold on,
speak to Petunia about the rocks. God. Petunia's smart enough to know anything about these rocks. I didn't think I was going to need to use the giant space hamster stat block, but here I am pulling it up.
Wink, wink, wink. Wink, 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 wink.
But louder and lower.
Wait, wait.
Word. Or it's like Fat Cat rules, where the cat's either gonna have a super deep voice or it's just the cutest little.
God, guys, it's gonna be amazing.
The rocks make sounds when they knock together.
Sounds like you and I, or sounds just like rocks?
They sound like rocks.
Smart creature, smart creature. Where does
Give
your
me my
poop go?
pellets. No.
What? You've been
me
at the
my
bottom
pellets.
of this ship for so long!
Give me the pellets.
Your beast wants pellets. I'm keeping one of these.
Petunia always wants pellets. She is on a diet.
Take a rock of his choice. The biggest one that fits in his hand the best.
We'd jettison any waste.
That's the answer I was looking for, thank you. This is my wife you'd be shitting in otherwise.
Far be it from me to shit in your wife.
Alright, Louis, I think we got what we need. So do you think it's like a gelatin or more of like a Slurpee kind of thing? Okay. And I think Coxswain will say as they're leaving, just, I didn't know feel about while I was in there. There might be something up with these rocks, but I had a feeling they could tap into everything within a mile. And there's always that little bit of celestial and all that. But there's something draconic on this ship. There's something undead. I don't know if that little bastard's one of them, but something to look out for. Something in the boxes, maybe. I'm going to see if I can get inside this egg. And he's clearly holding a rock.
Did you take a rock?
Yeah. Very much so. I took a rock. If I could, I would want it to be around hand-sized.
Roll me a d10.
A 9.
Okay. Cool. 9. Okay. All right, back with Maximus. Where did you go after Hefty's interrogation?
Boy, I am like checking to see if anybody has changed demeanors over the past, like, since yesterday. If anybody seems twitchy.
I see. All right. Give me an insight check as you do so.
Okie dokie. How's a 10?
10 is very average.
Average.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. It sure is. But like as you're making the rounds trying to get a read on everybody, you catch sight of the Chewinga just sort of darting about in kind of a strange way. Usually when you see them, they're either just sort of like hanging around and like looking at stuff, or just like curiously examining different parts of the ship. And typically they like to be elevated so that they can see better. But right now, they're just sort of scrambling around on the planks of the ship, sort of darting and pouncing at something.
Right, remind me what that thing is.
It's little cutie. It's the Chewinga that it's Coxswain's child.
It's a little small thing that's head looks like it's made of cosmos, and it has a fun.
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
mask thing.
right. Okay. I will approach the Chewinga, and I will say to it, "Yeah, doing all right, little guy? I know there's been a lot of chaos going on. How you doing?"
He scrambles a little bit and then pounces at something at your feet. And then like has his hands down over, like cupped over something on the ground. And then just sort of like peeks into their hands a little bit and then cups their hands again and looks up at you.
Did you find something? Should I get you a jar?
They hold up their hands like this and then stuff it into their face.
Oh, right. Okay. Little friend, you wouldn't happen to be killing people now, would you?
It stares at you like just like unchanging. It's got like 3 yellow eyes just sort of swirling around in the little cosmos that is its head. And then you see like its head sort of deform a little bit in one direction, and then it deforms a little bit in the other direction. And then you see something, it's like there's something ping-ponging inside of its face. And then like just it deforms very quickly and then just like disappears, and he just like watches it like a cat watching a fly.
Can I catch can I like physically catch what it was?
You cannot see what he was chasing. It was almost like he was chasing either like something too small to see, or like something that's not visible.
Right. Can I cast detect thoughts on this thing?
On the Chewinga? The Chewinga has no language.
Okay.
So that wouldn't necessarily work on the Chewinga. But you can like wildly like try to grab at the thing that flew out of its mouth, but you'd have to do so at disadvantage.
Sure.
Give me an athletics check.
Okay. Oh, this is terrible. I have advantage on athletics though. So we'll just do a flat roll. How's a 7?
Well, let's see how bad they do.
Hi, Abaddon.
There's like a moment where time sort of slows down as you get your big like hippo hand like trying to like slap this thing out of the air. And as you do so, like you catch like a glimpse of just a light, just a ball of light like moving towards your hand, and then it sort of flickers out and you feel it go straight through your hand, and then there's like a feeling of static electricity as it does so, and then it's just gone.
What in the heavens was that? Mr. Sawbones!
That's you, RJ.
Yeah, Sawbones is in the Spelljammer cockpit.
Can you hear me? Your captain is calling for you.
Depending on how far it is away.
We should probably see what you were doing with the Spelljammer cockpit, and then did you have something that you wanted to resolve there?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, last session, we could interface with the Spelljammer and
Hmm.
like search the ship. I wanted to refine the search parameters.
All right.
So while Sawbones is up there, he like presses two buttons on the side of his neck. The tube screen TV kind of hisses and it pops outward, and he just takes it off, puts it down so he can see better. And he's going to refine the search to, oh god, what was it? Essentially, search the ship, filter out known crew,
Mm-hmm.
and then see if there's any organic or inorganic life forms that he doesn't recognize.
I see. You might also want to filter out insects.
Insects,
Yeah, the
yes.
swarm.
Unless.
Unless. All right. Aboard the ship, you find nothing.
Hmm.
When you
Interesting.
filter out everything that you just mentioned.
Could I, with an Arcana, tune it to search for like an arcane frequency and see if he sees anything he doesn't recognize? Because the captain's saying a disintegration ray
Mm-hmm.
kind of got into his head as well.
Do you have detect magic?
I do. Artificer, baby.
I would require you to cast detect magic,
I will
and if you
do
do so,
that.
I'd allow you to do it to the entirety of the ship.
Okay.
The way that interfacing with the Spelljammer is like essentially you can see any part of the ship as though you were standing there.
Okay. Cool. I'll do that. Detect
All right.
magic goes out.
You're
If it's
doing
a long
scan.
enough time, could it be as a ritual?
Yes, it can. So you're detecting magic. Where do you look exactly?
He'll first look down in the hull where they found Lefty's ashes
Mm-hmm.
and see if he can pick up a trail from there.
Okay.
Essentially, it's the, Arkham City Detective Vision with a hologram Sawbones, and then just like bloop, little arrow that's pointing off in the direction if there's a magic signature.
I see. All right. You are seeking something strange from the scene of the crime. There is nothing to be found there. Where do you go from there?
Man,
Nothing out of the ordinary.
he'll go to the crew quarters where the goblins were sleeping.
Mm-hmm. All right. They have no magic items. There doesn't seem to be any residual spells cast here.
Do a slow patrol of the ship, essentially
Mhm.
starting from the goblins' quarters, walking around towards. Actually, what does the hole in the hull tell me if there's anything?
The hole of the hull. Looking at the hole.
At the edges where it's not repairing, essentially.
You detect some necrotic residue.
Does that match with the dust that was Lefty?
It does not.
Is there any trace magic on the dust, or is it just dust at this point?
I'll give you that. the dust itself does have necrotic residue.
But it's a different vibe than what's on the hull, essentially.
No, it's the same.
It's the same. Sawbones tunes back into his normal body, and he like leaves the ship on autopilot, running to the deck. Forgets his
Okay.
helmet. Skirt.
What does Sawbones look like without their helmet?
Immaculately pretty. Think
Of
Inosuke
course
from
they do. Of course they do.
Inosuke from Demon Slayers.
Hmm.
Captain. That's you,
Uh,
LB.
Yeah, coincidentally, this is the moment where Maximus calls for Sawbones. And Sawbones comes running up to Maximus.
LB.
Left bumper, hack him up.
You're muted.
I can't hear
Hello,
you.
I'm here. I actually think that as she calls, she's going to look at this little creature and says, "Let's try something a bit different." And she's going to take out a little clay figure of a ziggurat, and she's going to cast tongues on our little friend. The spell grants the creature you touch the ability to understand any spoken language it hears. Moreover, when the target speaks, any creature that knows at least one language can hear the target understands what it says.
Does it have any
Doesn't-
limitations on what you can cast it on?
It just says touch.
But Chwingas don't have a language. Right?
Tongues is, from what she said, it's worded as though
He gives them the
any
ability to
creature you
speak.
touch. Yeah, hold on,
Yes.
let me pull it up.
Is it a creature?
It is a creature.
Because it doesn't. I feel like it doesn't necessarily need to be.
Yeah, I
Common.
rules as written. That's exactly what that does.
So maybe I can understand like the gist of what it's saying. You know,
This
I don't
target
necessarily
doesn't.
need to say-
This target doesn't speak though.
Yes.
I hand them a pen.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, Captain,
Right.
were you
Hold
calling
on.
for me just
Oh
now?
yes. One moment. Little one, what were you chasing?
I think it kind of looks at you with like new clarity. And it's going to make a little illusion of a ball of light between its fingers.
Oh. Ah. All
And then
right.
catches it, and then looks down at their palms, and it's gone.
Are there a lot of those things here?
Shakes its head.
This then is special.
Sort of shrugs. And then
Just
like
for
looks
fun, then.
around. Yeah, it looks around like it's trying to find it again.
Do you know what happened to our friend down below who got turned to ash?
It's going to scramble away.
Should I follow it? Is it leading me somewhere? I'm going to follow it like it's leading me somewhere, whether it is or not.
Does Sawbones have something to report to the captain?
Lefty was killed with necrotic magic.
Well, necrotic magic.
It's the same type of magic that is infecting the hull currently. It's
Is that
halting
some-
Magnolia's ability to repair themselves.
Oh. Well, can we reverse it with some healing magics?
I can see what I can do.
Who do we know that does necrotic sort of damages like that?
There's a variety of things. Oh, I also did a full ship scan, and I did not see anything that warranted reporting, aside from the necrotic energy.
Right. Is our Chwinga friend necrotic in any way?
No.
Just
Go-
T2 sprinting after this thing.
Go back to the helm.
Oh no, he's gonna follow the Chewinga to cast detect magic on them.
Ah, I see. Okay. You go sprinting after the Chwinga, who is now bouncing about the sails, and seemingly just like looking around for whatever thing they were chasing before.
Little friend, is this creature invisible to us?
It seems uninterested in speaking to you further.
Sawbones points up at the Chewinga and casts Fairy Fire.
On the Chewinga?
It's
It's a
a
radius.
20-foot radius, yeah. It's a 20-foot cube.
Just glitter bomb the little man, why don't you?
You would not want me to glitter bomb the little man. That is a felony.
Okay, just double checking its stat block. Fairy Fire is a dexterity save.
Dexterity save 18.
It makes it.
Any creatures around it?
No.
Well, if there's anything invisible, it's now lit up.
Okay.
I think. Wait, let me reread this. If they fail, objects affected and creatures shed dim light and an attack roll.
No. Actually, your thing is more interesting. Sure. We'll say that there is something behind the Chewinga that lights up. What color is your Fairy Fire?
It is a neon blue.
All right. It's just a little hot neon blue ball of light.
If the captain doesn't stop him, there is a chick.
Incredible.
I'm sorry, what are you doing with that?
Points up towards the Chewinga and then the blue ball next to them.
Like the Chewinga is like looking around for something and it's just like moving behind the Chewinga every time it turns its head.
Oh.
I have to apologize to Coxswain.
Perhaps we can capture it and not just do whatever it is you're about to blowing holes in my ship.
Oh,
Quit
I'm very
blowing
accurate.
holes in my
It wouldn't be
ship.
blowing holes in your ship, just the Chewinga.
Let's not. Oh, right.
Okay. Request received. Standing down. That was going to
Okay.
be a lot of paperwork and explaining that I did not want to do.
Right, okay. Okay. Right, can we just try and capture it in a bottle, perhaps?
I will
I
go
have an
see.
iron pot.
That will work.
I'm not very
But-
fast.
The Chewinga catches sight of this light and turns on it and tries to catch it, and it starts frantically flying around the ship whilst the Chewinga chases it.
Right after it, Mr.
There's just-
Sawbones!
There's just utter chaos. They're knocking over like barrels. It's like a cat chasing a bird through the house, like just
Mhm.
utter abandon.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna. Is there a way for me to? It's gonna be flying randomly. Chases after it.
Okay.
There is now a bull in a china shop chasing after this Chewinga in light.
Okay. You can hear Magnolia start going, "Oh, you're making quite a mess down there."
That's what she said. That was my attempt at humor.
Right, if you have to shoot it, just shoot it!
This ball of light flies through a wall. And the Chewinga like bounces its face off of it and then like runs into the captain's quarters, and they start like bouncing around inside there.
If I have the pot on hand, could I just like wait at the door and then bonk?
Bonk it with the pot.
Well, like open face, just ball of light, slam it, over the ball of light.
Down over the pot.
Yeah.
You did see it go through a wall.
This is not going to work. Sawbones turns around, walks downstairs. Coxswain, Louis, we have a situation.
That situation better be staying out of my kitchen.
You better make it. It is a glowing ball of light that can phase through walls.
Louis, roll me a d20.
But can it phase through my stomach?
6.
A ball of blue light phases down through the ceiling and starts flying around your kitchen. Moments later, a Chewinga comes in through the door and starts making a mess of things.
I am so sorry, little cute. Come here, and like Coxswain will try and catch little cutie.
I'm grabbing a mason jar off of one of my shelves that's still
Mhm.
intact.
Mm-hmm.
I'm opening it.
Mm-hmm.
Little ball of light.
Mm-hmm.
I would like it to make a wisdom save if it is a creature.
Okay. $17.
So Louis jumps around and says, like, "Hey, get in," and tries to cast command, but it saves.
I'm gonna cast a hunter's mark on it.
Oh. That's smart. How long does Fairy Fire last for?
Fairy Fire was also just for that 20-foot cube. It doesn't extend out of that. So if a creature fails its save, like the little ghosty.
Yeah, in the area when the spell is cast is also outlined in light.
I mean, if
Concentration up to 1 minute. That thing's gone.
if Louis sees a situation start happening in his kitchen, he will also cast Fairy Fire.
What's your Fairy Fire look like? Sawbones is neon blue.
It's blood red.
Blood red ball of light flying around in the kitchen.
Yeah, hunter's mark it.
Can I cast another set of Fairy Fire to make it strobe?
Louis is also going to grab a fly swatter
Oh no.
and activate his Crimson Right.
Oh no! Is it just an electric fly swatter now?
Yes. Yes, it is. There's a reason I'm doing this. But I have to hurt myself right now.
Okay.
I will make an attack whenever I can.
Take a swing at it.
Oof, and I hurt myself good. Shit. 11.
11's not gonna hit.
Am I able to catch little cutie?
Fairy Fire doesn't give me advantage, does it?
I don't think so.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it
Oh.
does.
Why wouldn't
Sweet.
it? Yeah, no, of course it gives you advantage.
19.
That's exactly what you need to hit it.
What?
Alright. I don't know what the damage of a fly swatter is, so I'm gonna assume it's just my unarmed strike, which is 6.
That sounds good to me.
With an additional 5 points of lightning damage. And I would like to mark it with my brand of castigation.
All right. What does that do?
Once per short rest, whenever I damage a creature with a weapon that has an active right, like my fly swatter,
Mm-hmm.
you can sear an arcane brand into that creature. That brand has the following effects. I always know the direction to the branded creature as long as it's on the same plane as me. And each time the branded creature deals damage to you or another creature you see within 5 feet of you, the branded creature takes 3 psychic damage. It lasts until I
Alrighty.
dismiss it or until I apply a brand to another creature. So this is forever.
Okay.
So long as it's on the same plane.
Well. Okay. We're going to roll initiative here in a second. Go ahead and roll them, but don't tell me yet. There is another thing that we're going to need to resolve. And I have so many tabs open right now. I'm making this confusing for myself. All right, right there. Who is currently attuned to the helm?
Sawbones. He was last there.
Give me a constitution check.
Uh-oh. Dirty 20.
All right. Sawbones, you feel a jerk to the ship, like a sudden lurch. You're able to retain control, but you can tell that someone just tried to take control of the ship.
Sawbones turns on his heel and looks to Coxswain and just says, "Mutiny protocol enabled."
Are you in the kitchen with us?
He chased after the light.
Okay, sounds
Oh,
good.
sorry. He says, "Anti-mutiny protocol initiated." Pling! And he runs.
Wait, I'm
towards
sorry.
the-
Am I getting mutinied? No. Wait.
It's look.
I knew this day would come, Sawbones. I never trusted ye.
I'm sorry.
Anti-mutiny. Anti.
All right, I didn't doubt you for a second.
I press X to doubt on that.
Looks like Coxswain. Makes a face.
I'll always stand by your side, Captain.
All right, I asked everybody for initiatives. I'm gonna go around and ask for what you rolled, Coxswain.
13.
Louis.
20.
Maximus.
17.
Pirate Yar. And Sawbones.
12.
12. Okay. I'm just gonna have to roll in a couple of extra guys that I wasn't exactly expecting, but okay, here we go.
You still don't have to expect them, Captain. It's fine.
Gonna expect the unexpected here. Let's just remove Lefty because they're gone.
Oh, rest in peace, righty. I mean, lefty.
He's all right now.
We ain't getting no respect. No respect. All right, and then I sort this by going to View More Cell Actions, Sort Range, Z to A. Here we go. All righty then. You hear a scrambling on the hull of the ship. Louis, you have just damaged this ball of light that has been flying about. I'm going to refer to it from here on out as what it is, and that is a will-o'-the-wisp. You are the first person to come up in an initiative. Louis.
Is it still flying around my kitchen?
Yes.
Then I'ma hit it again.
Make it so, number one.
It's still blood red
Yes, it
dusted.
still has. Yes, it does.
Okay, first attack is a miss. Second attack is a hit with a 26.
Okay.
for 6 points of fly swatter damage and 3 points of lightning damage.
All right. This creature is now bloodied, as you see it begin to flicker and sort of fly a little bit more erratically. Maximus, you are next.
Oh, I don't want to kill this thing. I want to capture it. I am going to attempt. Boy, I know that I can. You know what? It might be Faye. I don't know. I have an iron pot for reasons. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna try and capture it in my iron pot. How should I do?
Well, it phases through matter, so
Right, but if it's Faye, maybe it can't phase through iron.
if you cast Chill Touch as you're slamming the pot, would it be cold iron?
Heat metal on the
You know,
pot.
I
Cold iron
decided on.
refers to the way that it's been processed.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, go on.
But Fae are very semantics.
You know what? I'm gonna cast Detect Thoughts and see if I can get a read on this thing. If it has
Yeah, okay.
thoughts.
Yeah,
It
it's
needs
got languages.
to make a Wisdom 17 saving throw, please.
Okie doke. It fails.
Ooh, okay, so I get surface thoughts.
The surface thoughts are fear, and this is the worst scouting mission I've ever been given.
Does it seem to understand? I want to know if it can understand me if I talk to it. I'm just gonna try talking to it. I'm gonna use persuasion to say, if you stop moving, we won't hit you again. We just want to know what's happening.
All right, give me a persuasion.
27.
Holy shit. It stops in its tracks.
Bard.
And
All right. Don't.
you
Go ahead.
you hear in a small voice, "You promise?"
Of course I promise. Look at me. Would I lie to you?
That guy's got a fly swatter.
You're invisible on our ship. You're kind of a stowaway, okay?
You
That's
guys
a
seem to
little-
be able to see me just fine.
Right, because we lit you up. Look at yourself. You're glowing like this nobody's business.
Oh, I hate it when people do that.
Right, so why don't you come down here now that we can see and we can have a conversation instead of you sneaking around.
Put down the fly swatter first.
Loy, I'd like you to put down the fly swatter. That's a good boy. Alright, now we're gonna have a civil conversation. Or I'm gonna have a civil conversation since y'all can't hear it. What are you doing on our ship?
I guess it doesn't really matter now.
Why?
The mutiny's already underway.
Who's mutiny?
Why?
Look, there's only like 7 people on the ship and most of us are right here. They're not gonna get very far if it's the other 2.
Oh, yes, there's only 7 people on the ship. But you didn't check under the ship.
Did we
That's
check
the
under
funny
the
thing.
ship?
That's the funny thing about vampirates. They can turn whatever vessel they're on invisible.
Vampirates.
Oh.
Yarr!
You hear scrambling as a bunch of vampires start spider climbing on the hull of your ship.
Incredible.
First it was resetting the new year, and now it's vampires,
It
guys. I can't
leads-
keep doing these
Vampirates.
one-shots with these fucking puns as the whole climax
Pirates
of
is
it.
D&D official.
They are.
It is D&D official.
Aren't they like
Ah!
clown vampires?
Well, no, the clown,
No.
the space clowns
No,
are
the
different.
Oh, they're
Space clowns and
different.
vampires are 2 entirely different things.
Okay.
Very different
Both
factions.
D&D official.
Yeah.
So You hear a chorus of yars and hissing coming from outside the ship. And the Will of the Wisp says, "Oh yes, co-captains Edward and Teach would love to take over your vessel, and I'm sure it'll be happening very soon." And that's where we're gonna go to break.
Yar! I'm looking forward to coming back to this break. I'm excited, specifically for just watching LB's face throughout this whole journey. This has been fantastic. We're going to be back.
His name is Edward. His name is Edward.
And the
guys.
other's name
It's
is
our flag
Teach.
means death.
Yeah, it's
It's
Blackbeard.
just
and
Blackbeard.
the
It's
gentleman
It's just
pirate.
Blackbeard.
I know that, but it's also Edward from the Cullens.
Oh shit! Wow! Look
I
at
hope he's
that.
glittery.
He's gonna be beautiful, and we'll find out even more about him when we come back from the break. So we'll see y'all shortly. And we're back.
Started! On October 3rd, he asked me what day it was.
Hey, what day is it?
It's October 3rd. It's a Mean Girls reference.
I know that one. You wanna know what else today is in reference of?
Full Metal
Something
Alchemist.
else.
Full Metal Alchemist! Weebs Day!
Full
Today
Metal
is the day
Alchemist.
Vic Mignogna burned down his house.
You know what? Good for everyone else. Anyways. Hey, Danae, we're going after some, what did you call them? Vampirates?
Vampirates!
Yeah.
They're aboard your ship. They have been for months. Not aboard.
Tailing our ship, essentially.
Yes, exactly.
They were in our grav well.
My God.
And they've been hiding down there. All right. Whose turn did we have last? It was our good friend, the captain, Maximus. I'm gonna write down your name so I stop calling you Yar. It was Maximus last. So that would bring Coxswain next. You can hear vampirates scrambling on the hull of the ship.
Okay, well, let me just check here real quick. Well, he is going to use a bonus action to light up his lightning bow. And then he is going to shoot the Will-O-Wisp,
Go ahead.
which I'll have advantage because it's in the fairy fire.
Indeed.
Okay. Well, that was an 18 on the die, 28 in total to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That'll hit. You've also got your hunter's mark on it.
Yep. So I have Hunter's Mark damage. I got lightning damage. I got my bow. I'll use as part of the hit to add another d6 piercing as part of it. So I'm rolling 5 dice for this arrow. So that is going to be for because it's from a magical item. It counts as magical. That is for 13 points of piercing, 17 points of piercing, and then 8 points of lightning, and then 2 additional points of piercing. So that would be 17, 19 points of piercing. Oh, plus 6. So 25. Sorry.
You've killed it.
Nothing against it. I can't move Hunter's Mark as a bonus action if the thing's alive.
No, of course. I understand.
And then he is going to rush out of the kitchen in the direction of the deck.
You see one vampirate standing in the middle of the hall of the crew deck, sort of swinging a sword around and gnashing its fangs. And you can see another one in the process of climbing in through the hole in the wall.
And the one that is slashing out with its fangs, I will yell out, "Not on your life." And he is going to make his second attack.
Mm-hmm.
But does a 13 hit?
No.
Well,
Parries with his sword.
that's all I can do.
Yar har 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 har.
That's my shtick.
Okay, that's Coxswain. Sawbones, it's you.
I see the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, this is gonna be funny for a lot of reasons. Yeah, fuck it. Can I shove that pirate to the side so I can get access to the hole?
Give me a strength check. Athletics, if you please.
Okay. Oh, get fucked. 27.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, you shove him. You sure do.
So what happens next is, as this other pirate's climbing up into the hole, there is the barrel of the Gatling gun that gets stuck in his face. And then Sawbones just turns, eyes glowing red. Let me show you how I lost my medical license.
All right.
Is there any more climbing up?
Doesn't appear to be coming in through the hole. These are the only two down here.
Cool. Well, I blast them. I'll take a step back so I can catch them in a cone. I'm
Ooh.
going to use my Gatling gun's burst fire ability.
Oh, how fun.
They need to make a dexterity 15 save or take half this damage.
1 fail, 2 fail. They both fail.
Oh boy, they take 17 piercing damage.
Magical or non-magical?
Magical.
Actually, it doesn't matter. They don't resist.
Oh, fun. This is going to suck for you. Can I have them make another dexterity save, 16 this time?
Okay. Failure. Success.
16 points of fire damage on the fail, 8
Oh.
on the save, as the dragon head spools up behind the Gatling gun, and there's another gout of fire. Action surge.
Oh boy.
Can I have them make another dexterity saving throw?
Okay. Why is there so much murder in your eyes? Failure.
Because he's the pharmacist.
A 13?
That's a fail, baby.
Okay.
That's so good. 20 points of piercing damage.
To both of them?
Yeah, I maxed out. So, fun fact, this is supposed to consume 10 rounds of ammunition, but because my Gatling gun's repeating, it has infinite ammo.
Okay. How close were you to these vampires?
He backed up 5 feet. So he's not on them because... he's
So
about-
not adjacent to them.
Not adjacent.
You watch them get riddled with bullets, and then one after the other bust into ash.
Oh, wait. I have
violently.
a new line. I guess
and
your
as-
flags truly did mean death.
Terrible. And as you do so, as they explode, there's like a little scramble of like red necrotic energy that persists for a moment and then vanishes.
I believe that is what might have killed Lefty. I'm gonna use the rest of my movement to try and get on deck.
All right. You're gonna run up on deck, and you can hear sounds coming from the captain's cabin. Will of the Wisp is dead. All right. You run up on deck, and the captain's cabin door busts open as a boot is kicked through it, And you see standing before you two figures. One of them is human, wearing a big hat with a long feather coming off of it. And the other one appears to be a tiefling. And they are wearing like sort of matching like leather like captain's clothes. And the guy who busted in the door is going to shout, fucking God, like they've had months to think of this. Like what, like they would have something prepared, wouldn't they?
Prepare
they
for
stepping-
trouble and make it double.
Are they stepping over each
Essentially,
other's
yes.
lines?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, like they both start to say something, and then
no,
they
go
look
ahead.
at
No,
each.
you go ahead. No,
Yeah,
you.
it's oh well, I thought that we were going to. Yeah, don't worry about it. And Edward turns around and says, "Aha! Welcome aboard my ship. I think I'll call it the Mosquito 5."
What happened to the other 4 mosquitoes?
Teach, the tiefling behind him quietly says, "We don't talk about that." And the captain is going to lunge forward and attack you. Yeah, he can do that from 30 feet away. No, he'll just stay where he's at, and he's just going to like make Emperor Palpatine fingers at you. And you see red energy come out of the fingertips and attempt to drain you of energy.
Oh boy. Buy me dinner first, bitch.
Does a 12 hit?
Does not.
Okay. Well, in that case, don't worry about it. Teach behind him will say, "Get down, Ed." And you see the captain say, "Ah, yes, of course." And then like do like a little leg sweep and just like full on just like drop. And you're going to be attacked by 2 rays of cold. 19 to hit?
Nope.
No?
I'm an artificer fighter.
Oh no. All right. Well, 2 rays of cold bounce off of your armor. That's both of their turns.
With a Gatling gun.
Oh boy. 2 vampirates are gonna come scrambling out of the captain's cabin, like crawling along the walls, and they are also going to attempt to drain your energy. 6 isn't gonna hit you, but a 20 might.
No.
Okay.
Sawbones turns to them. Was that supposed to tickle?
You see like the 2 like hissing vampires on either side of their captains, like their faces sort of fall like, and they like look at each other like, that was supposed to work, wasn't it? All right, Louis, it's your turn.
I would like to get up on up there on the ship where things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get there?
Mm-hmm.
How many vampires are there?
You see 4, 2 captains and 2 crew members.
How many of them just so happen to be within, say, are any of them standing next to each other?
The 2 captains are still inside the captain's quarters, and the other 2 have crawled up onto like the door frame on the outside. So they're all in a similar area, but not in a line.
Louis gonna get out a mason jar of moonshine. He's gonna uncork it, take a little sip. Aye. And moonbeam right on top of.
All right, that has an area of 20.
It's 5-foot radius, so it'll only get them.
Okay. The co-captains then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need both of them to make a Constitution saving throw.
Alrighty.
If they are a shape changer, or if it has the shape changing trait, it will make it with disadvantage.
I got a 20 from one and a 14 from the other.
The 14 will fail.
'Kay.
So that will be 12 points of radiant damage on
All
a
right.
failure and 6 on a success.
Well, that is a good move because they are vulnerable to radiant damage. You can see their skin bubble under the moonlight. And they both shriek.
And then for a bonus action, I will get out one of my tomahawks and just draw it against my arm and make it crackle with lightning. Let's go with lightning. That's it.
Alrighty. Maximus? Coxswain on
Right.
deck.
Right, okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my action to cast haste on my dear friend Coxswain.
Oh boy.
So you see Maximus pulls out from seeming like under their bustle a large bag. They like sling it over their shoulder, and you just hear "Burn, burn," and they start playing their bagpipes. And in between breaths, you hear them just say, "I'm not going to argue with you the definition of mutiny, but this is definitely not that." As she casts haste on Coxswain, and as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Bardic Inspiration on my dear friend Sawbones. I will remind you, I have, because I am a College of Valor bard, I have Combat Inspiration. So a creature that has Bardic Inspiration from you can roll that die and add that number rolled to a weapon damage roll or an attack roll made against the creature. It can use this reaction to roll the die and add the number rolled to the AC against the attack. After seeing the roll, not before knowing whether it misses or not. And my Bardic Inspiration is a D10.
Jesus.
And I'm just bagpiping it up. There is just a cacophony of bagpipes.
Incredible.
Do something a little bit more Zarko.
Everyone's a critic.
Oh wait, I've got a Power Rangers clip for this.
Anything else from you, Maximus?
No, ma'am.
Then it is Coxswain. Sawbones on deck.
Is just full on laughing, so excited. He's feeling pumped, full of that energy from the haste spell. So as a bonus action, he's going to move a hunter's mark over to the tiefling.
Okay.
I think that's Teach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Hunter's Mark over to the Tiefling. That is a bonus action, but I only gain one additional action on my turn. So just want to make sure. Ba-ba. Okay.
Can be used to attack, dash, disengage, dodge.
Yeah, because I don't
Or
think
in
that I
the-
actually have any spells that I would want to cast as an action
Mm-hmm.
currently. Or actually, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Because the haste action can only be used to take an attack, disengage, so I can't use a magic on that. So I'm going to use my hasted action because Teach is standing and Ed did the dead drop.
Yes.
Okay, so Teach is standing. I'm going to try and shoot him with my arrow. That is a 12 to hit.
That's gonna miss.
Okay. Sounds good. In which case, second attack. Or actually, I should have done that first. Okay, well. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna use my action. to cast Fairy Fire on the deck. My coloring of Fairy Fire is like a deep emerald green. So I need for all of the vampires that are on the deck to give me a dexterity saving throw for this.
Okay.
I'm also on the deck, apparently.
19,
19, that saves.
14,
That meets.
10.
10 fails.
Oh, if I'm looking for 14, I know what I'm looking for. All right. The captains fail and the pirates save.
Yeah, fuck them. Okay. Yeah, there is a Fairy Fire effect out there.
There's fairy fire upon the captains.
And that's it. Because I attacked first before I cast the spell, so I don't get my own advantage.
Alright.
Yeah.
Sawbones, that leaves you. Getting buffed out the wazoo. What is your next move?
So, hear me out. I want to do some shenanigans. Sawbones
fuckery.
is going to run up to one of the non-captain vampirates,
Got it.
jam the Gatling gun under their chin,
Uh-huh.
and begin to fire. I have gunner, so this isn't at disadvantage. It's at advantage, if anything,
Okay.
because they're fairy fired.
Okay.
Okay, hear me out. If this hits,
Mm-hmm.
let me see if this hits first.
The regular pirates are not fairy fired, so
Oh.
no advantage for them.
Okay, just flat then.
Yep.
Does a 20 hit?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm going to add a pushing attack to this using combat superiority with the attempt to lift them up using the Gatling gun bullet spray.
Okay.
They need to make a dexterity saving throw. No, strength saving throw. 15.
Okay. That's a failure.
Okay, they get pushed upwards 15 feet.
Okay.
They take 13 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Sawbones turns around and looks at the other pirate and is going to run at them and do the same. The pirate in the air is going to drop 15 feet.
All right. It is 2d. How much is falling damage? DMs in the crowd?
D6 every 10
6
feet.
per 10.
All right. Yeah. Roll me 2d6 then.
A 6.
Okay. And then to the other one.
Here we go. Oh, I
doing
also have
this-
to roll a D8 because of my combat superiority.
All right.
Add an 8 to that total.
Holy shit. Okay.
Don't
Does
forget
a-
that you have your bardic inspiration for combat.
Yeah, I'll use that in case I miss.
Okay.
Does an 18 hit?
Yes, it does.
Strength saving throw, please.
'Kay.
Pushing attack.
11 doesn't make it.
Yep, they get shunted 15 feet into the air, taking 14 points of piercing damage with 5 additional on top of that.
All right.
And while he's in the air, I use my bonus action to light him on fire with my flamethrower.
Okay.
He has to make a dexterity save. I don't know how you
Okay.
want to do this.
19.
That's a save, but he'll take half.
Okay.
I have so much shit on my sheet. Why did I do this to myself? He takes half of the 7.
All right. You have bloodied both of these vampires.
And that one drops 15 feet.
Did you already roll the bludgeoning damage for
I
that?
did not, sorry.
Okay, go for it.
10.
Okay. You've bloodied both of these vampires. Anything else for you?
If we load you into the cannons, you'd make some very nice fireworks.
I think that they're both a little bit disoriented, and then they both like just turn and look at you like, "What the fuck?"
I've had a rough day.
Uh,
Turn in.
Edward is going to stand up, and try and
It's gonna
grab
make
you
a
by
con
the.
save.
You
Ye-
right. Hold on. Moonbeam. The ruling for Moonbeam is the first time that they have a turn in the Moonbeam, right?
When they first enter or at the start of their turn.
Right. Which means that we shouldn't have rolled when you first put it on them.
Okay.
So we're just going to count that for the first one. He's gonna stand up, step out of the Moonbeam. Now that I've remembered that they're in a Moonbeam. And he's gonna try and grab Sawbones by the collar.
I am going to throw Slap Your Mama in his eyes and invoke Blood Curse of the Mark. Oh, Blood Curse of the Eyeless.
As a reaction.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's just gonna get a d6 out of. He's gonna take 2 off of whatever he rolls for his attack.
Okay. He's going to attempt another energy drain on you, RJ.
Okay.
Does a 20 hit?
No.
Okay. Would a 22 have hit?
Yes.
Ha!
Louis, you just saved him from it. All right.
God,
Pocket pepper.
You know what? I'm gonna save it. I'll save it.
He grabs at you, and tries to like gain energy, like draw energy out of you, and he's got like a very scary face, and he's all like, "You're the Spelljammer, aren't you?" And then like that blood curse gets activated, and he goes, "Gah!" And like I imagine like it's the fucking like your mama spice in the eyes.
There's some garlic in there.
Oh no!
When they go to grab it, it's like, "You're the Spelljammer, aren't you?" No, I'm the ship Harmacist.
Incredible. Teach is going to start twirling their hands in the air in a circular way, and he's going to cast Hypnotic Pattern on the deck of the ship. I need everybody to make a... Is that what it does? Hold on, let me double check how this works.
I didn't pick up counterspell. I'm the worst. It is a wisdom save.
Yes,
I
it
think
is a
bards
wisdom
need
save.
to get magical secrets to do counter spells.
Who might need some help? Oh shit, I used my reaction. Never mind.
It's fine.
So 17.
All right, hold on. The number you're looking for is 13.
1.
Oh no. 15 for me.
For wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
that's a 7.
All right. The two of you who failed, you see a twisting pattern that looks like a swirling galaxy appear above the deck of the ship. You are charmed, and while charmed by this spell, you are incapacitated and have a speed of 0.
Oh, I don't like this kaleidoscope stuff. I don't feel too good with this.
There's just drool coming out of Coxswain's mouth.
LB, you're a bard. You have counter charm.
It's an action.
You could do it on your turn.
I know.
Teach sort of smiles to himself, and he's going to duck into cover inside the captain's cabin. And as he does so, there is a roar that rattles the planks of the ship. Just a screeching, ear-piercing. Just trying to think of another word other than roar. It's a roar, you guys.
There's the draconic.
The kind that gives you the bass feeling in your chest. And you see in the distance these gray and white silvery wings as what appears to be a dragon is making its way towards you. And Edward looks over at that dragon, just sort of like eyes wide, and then he turns and looks back at you guys and goes, truce?
Sorry, fucking indoor. I will speak on my turn.
All right. Jasper and Alice, on their turns, will like look back, like stand up, look back and forth at each other and down at their captain, and stand ready, waiting for the response, and will act according to it. Louis is incapacitated. Yar, it's your turn.
Me?
Can I
Mhm.
save? Do I save at the end of my turns or?
Let me double check. The spell ends for an affected creature if it takes any damage or if someone else uses an action to shake the creature out of its stupor.
Sweet. I am stupid.
Cool. Maximus is going to look at the other pirates, look at the dragon, and go, "Get out of me quarters!" And then I'm gonna go over to Louis and just like slap, 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 slap.
What?
We've got
Okay.
bigger fish
You
to
got a
fry
little bit.
here. Get your drool off your shirt and let's go. Someone get Coxswain out of this! Or drop the spell, you dirty bastards!
Teach sort of pokes his head out, and Ed is gonna look at him and go like, "Yeah, do it, fucking do it." And Teach like looks over at those distant wings and like eyebrows go up and just instantly drops the spell.
All right. But I'm going to use Bardic Inspiration for Sawbones this turn.
I still have mine.
Just kidding. I'm going to use Bardic Inspiration for Coxswain.
All right.
Aye. If I'm being hasted, still, I'm gonna get up, or I'm gonna start yelling at the goblins to man the ballista, and I'm gonna hop in the tree.
All right. Coincidentally, the goblins have climbed up onto deck and realized what's going on. And they go to man the ballista. Oh boy. And me caught flat-footed without my ballista stats.
Ha, +2.
Stand by, friends. Stand by. There you are. Oh, yar, baby.
Yeah. Okay.
And it has got a range of 120 feet. That's perfect for the 80 feet that the dragon is from you guys. All right, they're going to load the ballista. They're going to aim the ballista, and oh shit, they don't have a third goblin. They won't be able to fire until their next turn. Sawbones, it's your turn.
Bones walks away from the two vampires. Can one of you fire a ballista?
Ed looks at you and then just gives a befangled smile.
Hop 2, and he'll walk to the edge of the railing, plop down the Gatling gun as a stabilizer. He's gonna start unloading.
All right. It's 80 feet away. Give it a go.
That is my minimum range.
Hell yeah.
Uh, 22 to hit.
Yes.
The dragon will take 17 points of piercing damage. I'm going to throw a tripping attack on it.
Okay.
To try and knock it prone? In the air. Well, that means it just falls, right?
This is going to cause some questions, I think. First of all, I have to find out where your air envelope ends.
It's like 100 feet out.
So it would be within your air envelope, so it would be affected by your gravity.
Well, also I'm doing it to add damage on top.
I see. Does it need to make a save?
Strength save 15, and it'll take an additional 8 on top of that.
All right, hold on.
Sorry,
Let him
sorry.
actually make his save.
Yeah. Well, regardless if it saves or not.
It's going to use a legendary resistance.
Yeah! Fucking burn it! Second attack.
180 feet out.
I love fighters because we get to roll so much.
What's your second attack?
Natural 20 for a 28.
Oh,
And I'm going to throw a tripping attack on that as well. And I'm going to throw the Bardic Inspiration die on it.
all right. A 28 is going to hit.
Oh boy, here we go. Okay. Danae, I love you, and here comes some numbers.
Okay.
26 points of piercing damage. Plus an additional 18. Plus an additional 14.
All right.
And it needs to make a strength saving throw.
It fails.
It falls prone.
So, when one falls in an air envelope, it falls until it hits the gravity plane, at which point gravity reverses. And then it reverses again, and it reverses again. So the dragon begins to bounce. Its momentum is still being carried towards you.
The good news being, it needs to use half its movement to stand up.
To right itself instead
to
of just
itself.
Because it is just like spiraling. Like you hit it, and then it starts corkscrewing towards you, basically. Just sort of like rolling.
It's a ballistic missile at this point.
Yeah, like out of control.
Spinning out of control. Out of control. Bonus action. No, it's too far away for the flamethrower. Wait, once per long rest. Take an action. Okay, that's it.
All right. The captain on his turn is going to use his action to fire the ballista. And miss. Hey!
I mean, missed.
The mage, that being Teach, is going to step out on deck, eyes wide, just sort of hand on his head, and say, "That's the lunar dragon."
Lunar dragons are made of Swiss cheese. Ha 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 ha.
He just gives you a wild look and says, "You better hope that he's not as big as I think he is. I think that the perspective is making him look a lot smaller." And he's going to finger gun twice and shoot 2 rays of cold at it.
It's gonna reduce his fucking speed if it hits.
It hits. And hits again. Alright, so the dragon is immune to cold damage. Doesn't say anything about reducing speed on the stat block. But the spell Ray of Cold is supposed to do that, right?
Well, if it's on the stat block, then it should just.
It's
do what
not
it
on the
says.
stat block.
It'll also usually, like, the speed reduction is usually as part of the damage. So if it's immune,
Immune, then
to
it
cold,
shouldn't go through. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, well, it's not doing anything. And the mage gives the rest of you a worried look. The dragon, on its turn, will use half of its speed to pick itself up. It is 80 feet away. It's going to right itself and fly the remaining 40 feet that it has. Oh. Okay. Just gonna double check some of these ranges here. Oh God.
Yeah,
Well, okay then.
Oh no.
So, a 90-foot cone is measured from origin point to
90 feet.
exit point, right?
But
The keel of the ship is 80 feet.
It can envelop the entire ship.
There is a rumbling noise, like a glacier grinding to a stop. The dragon rears back and unleashes a torrent of ice on the entirety of the ship. I need everybody to make me a Constitution saving throw.
not a dexterity. Yar.
9.
19.
25.
15.
All right, what you're looking for is 21.
Balls.
And if you failed, you're taking 37 cold damage, and your speed is reduced to 0 until the end of your next turn.
Action absorb elements as well.
Did anybody succeed?
I'm gonna do a reaction to absorb elements. That seems nice.
All right, on a success, you take half as much damage, and your speed isn't reduced.
Okay.
How much is the total?
It's 37.
37 divided by
Quickly
2.
make some rolls for everybody else.
18.
Oh, that was a bad job for Magnolia, huh?
Oh no.
Natural 20 for one vampirate.
Hey,
23 for another
Captain,
vampirate.
can you make a Constitution save for that haste?
Oh, right. How's the 16?
Failed on teach.
16 would not be enough.
Oh wait, no, because
No.
37 is 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
My moonbeam drops too.
Succeed on captain. Aho! Okay. You see that ice envelop all of the pirates on the ship. And you see like them basically turn into like a bunch of like vampirate sickles. And then there's like a cracking noise as they all just bust out of the ice and sort of like shuffle it off of them. And Teach looks at you and says, I got good news for you. We're immune to cold too. However, the one person who is not immune to that would be Magnolia, and she takes the full 37.
My wife.
Oh, that's a bit nippy, dear. All right, so that was the dragon. Speaking of Magnolia, she gets a turn. She's going to reach over and pick up some ballista ammunition and chuck it at the dragon. First one misses. Second one also misses. That's okay. She's doing her best. All right. 2 vampirates looking awful hurt. I think that the captains are going to command that they stand ready. They're going to draw out their light crossbows and fire at the dragon. One rolled a 20, which will hit. And do a little damage. Okay. A dragon's going to use a legendary action. Treacherous Ice. Yeah. There's a 20-foot radius on the deck. Is going to become difficult terrain. And that'll last for 10 minutes. So ice and frost just spider webs across the deck and becomes very slippery. And it will error. Louis, it's your turn.
All right, so my speed is 0. I'm gonna use bonus action to eat a beignet and get 4 temporary hit points. Everybody has a beignet. You can all do this on your turn. It is my sweet treat. What does the dragon look like? Like, does it just look like it's wanton destruction time, or does it? Is it looking for something? Is there a reason for it to attack right now?
Give me a check of some sort. Either nature, survival, arcana, or insight.
Okay, I rolled insight, 18.
There is usually not a reason for a dragon to approach a ship nowhere near its territory for any other reason than being provoked somehow.
Hey, big scared moon dragon. You speak common? Come on, tell us what got you in what done gave you the red ass?
It will shout something in Draconic. Does anybody understand that language?
The Chawinga.
If the
It
Chawinga was
lasts
on
an
the
hour.
deck, it is dead.
It's not concentration. If it hasn't been an hour, it can understand it.
Does anybody understand Draconic? Am I getting no's?
No.
All right. There's a roar.
Oh, Draconic?
Mm-hmm.
I speak.
Do you?
I always pick up Draconic. It's the basis of all arcane magic.
Of course. All right. Sawbones. The dragon has gotten close enough that the Doppler is no longer obscuring its words. You hear a feminine voice say, "Give me back my child!"
In common, Sawbone shouts, "We do not have your child!"
Liar!
Insight check me, bitch!
I mean, was that my action?
No. I let you make checks as a thing you do on your turn. Like knowledge checks, that is.
shit. I am going to hold my action for if the dragon gets within. Not, I need to check for this. If it gets above, if it like flies above, like 30 feet above.
Okay. If it gets within 30 feet of you?
Mhm.
All right. We'll check back in when that is the case. Maximus, it is your turn with Coxswain on deck.
Oh boy. Oh boy. For my action, I am going to cast Mass Cure Wounds because owie zowie. So up to 6 creatures. I'm going to choose all of my companions who got hit. For 27 healing. Hell yeah, D&D Beyond. Thank you for that. And then Maximus is going to step up onto the railing of the ship holding the line from the sail, and she is going to yell out to this dragon. We know not of your spawn, but we are willing to help ye. If these vampirates have taken something from you, I promise on my life that I will get it back. I care not for these creatures, and
Hey,
I
whoa,
promise that you get back what
Don't
you
throw
wanted.
us under the bus here.
You attacked us first. You
What?
came on our ship. You tried to kill us, okay? Just
Well,
let
we
me
didn't know there
handle
was a
this.
dragon involved.
No. I promise ye. On me life.
Give me a persuasion check.
Come on, D&D Beyond. 29, baby.
Okay.
I have plus 13. Look, I can do one thing, okay?
As she continues to fly towards you, she will say, if you value your lives, submit to a parlay.
Translates.
Put down your weapons. A parlay it shall be.
All right.
Fucking looks at Coxswain. Do you want to fight a dragon?
Coxswain is just like drooling, standing in
The
place.
spell's done.
I know, when haste wears off, I can't do anything the next turn.
Oh,
So I got like, oh,
Coxswain
finally I
to
can
walk.
act again. I get up in the tree, a dragon blasts me, I absorb some of the elements, and then just like...
Oh.
So many shitty things happen to Coxswain all at once.
My son, who was on the ship running around, probably dead.
He's fine.
From the dragon fire! Oh, dragon ice fire! Look,
Danae would not let him die. She
Who?
killed the dog and felt terrible about it, okay?
yeah.
Well, yeah, I would feel bad if he was a dog, but Simon all he wants to do is die.
No, the Chewinga.
Maybe. Oh, the Chewinga. Yeah, no, of course. The Chewinga's below deck. He's fine.
Yeah, told you!
I've learned my lesson. Now, Louis, he's not at the table. The dragon will gracefully fly towards you. And she will perch on the side of the deck. A gargantuan creature. She looms over you. She has oddly flat protrusions that stick out from her jawline and all down her back. If you're familiar with what a sea dragon looks like, the seahorse that looks like kelp, these protrusions have a similar shape. She is the color of moon dust, and she glares down at you with these milky, glittering eyes. And you can hear as she just breathing causes a rumble to rattle the deck. Yeah, sure. Her claws dig into the railing of the ship and cause it to splinter. And you can see Magnolia wincing, but she holds her tongue. She looms over you, Maximus, and she says, "Speak."
Oh, Elby's frozen.
It looks like our captain might be a little indisposed.
Give us a moment. We will go and see if we have your egg.
Wait, hold on.
I ain't got no eggs in my damn kitchen.
Do your eggs, do they look like rocks?
Aye.
Do they look like moon rocks?
There is a rumble from her. Some may say so. Yes.
Do they happen to look?
Motherfucking.
And Coxswain will pull out of his pocket, it's like hand-sized rock. Do they look like this? I found it on one of the stowaways.
She's gonna lean down.
You can have it if you want. I just want to say you're beautiful, and if I were not a taken man, this would be a different situation.
There's the head the size of a wagon just like in front of you, and she takes in a couple of deep breaths around the rock, and she hisses and she says, "What trickery is this?"
Captain?
Right. Someone go get us our stowaway.
Going.
We have been hired to transport a few things, and someone aboard our ship is transporting things without us knowing. It'd be in these moon rocks. Now, this is not an egg, right?
It is merely a
sorry.
stone.
Right.
Right, awesome.
Right.
I
Okay.
didn't think it was anything.
Is your child
Yes.
perhaps a hamster that has been a dragon that has been turned into a giant cow?
There is a sharp noise of disgust, as she seems to be offended by this assertion.
Look, I'm just trying to work this out between us.
Look, as a father myself, I get a little worried about my boys. How many of your children are you looking for? Just one? Handful?
There has been one that has been stolen from my nest.
And we happily will help you find them, miss.
Right. Oi, vampirates. You had nothing to do with this, did you?
Like all four of them had started to conga line away from the danger, and they all turn around and look at you. And then they all just like immediately like start like, you know, leaning against walls and like examining things, trying to act casual. It's just like, what? No, we did not have anything to do with this. Absolutely not. Just a mutiny. Just trying to steal the ship Shanghai. Is that what it's called?
It's not exactly the most political correct variant of what you could possibly call it, but similar.
Right. Okay.
A mutiny is against your own captain. I'm not your captain.
This was just a simple like a seizure, is what you were trying to do.
Right. You were trying to pirate a pirate ship.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do. We are pirates.
Right. All right. Stay put.
If you don't, you're
Laser
going to
pistol.
be using was.
Right. Bringing up, Slip, and Petunia, both of them.
All right. You bring Slip and Petunia up onto the deck, and Slip says, "There's been a lot of noise upstairs."
Yeah, right. Someone has stolen a dragon's children. Do you be knowing anything about that?
Slip produces a pseudopod and sort of like scrubs their membrane with it, and says, "No."
Wisdom save.
Okay then. Oh yeah, sure thing. Plasmoid. You. Uh, 21.
You can spit it out if you got it. It's command. You saved.
Looking up, Flip seems to notice for the first time the dragon that is perched on your deck, and like literally ripples with excitement. They will reach into their bag and pull out the largest of the rocks and hold it aloft.
Is this the egg you'd be looking for?
She leans down and sniffs, and like immediately you see her eyes like turn from slits, like the pupils like just dilate, and you hear like an involuntary chirrup. And then she immediately like puts on the angry face again, and she snaps down at Slip, who disappears just entirely, as she just like grabs like just the entire thing up, and you can see that she has the egg like pursed between her lips, and then Slip just like reconstitutes back up on the deck.
Well, now that's been sorted. Is there anything else we can do for you, ma'am?
She turns sharply on you and says, "I should break your ship into flotsam."
Oh, she's a nice woman. She had nothing to do with this.
Right. No, if you're gonna break anyone's ship, it should be theirs. They're the ones who did this, really.
There's not even anyone occupying their ship currently. Just like...
And they're space vampires. I mean, like, just bloodsuckers, aren't they?
She looks from like to each creature on the ship, and she says, "You won't survive long out here anyway." And then she
I do not require food or air.
flies
I
off.
swear to Christ. Oh.
What?
Oh. Well, that was a fun little dinger, wasn't it?
Are the vampires still here?
Yeah.
Sawbones will turn to them. Can we just call this a mulligan?
Bonus
Let's just
action.
Move away. Let's just go.
Move the Hunter's Mark. Or no, Hunter's Mark was already on Teach.
Mm-hmm.
They're like doing a little huddle, and they're like, just give us a second, all right?
Uh-huh.
They huddle back
Yeah.
up again.
You know, I could just shatter their ship, and then they'd be part of our crew.
Oh,
Then we'd have to worry about
Holding
mutinies
moonbeam.
and such.
They are in a
That's-
group.
That's the funny part, actually, Edward says. We never had a ship. We were just kind of tailing you in a rowboat. So you gotta give us credit for ingenuity, right?
Oh, bless their hearts.
Bonus action, cast the spell Lightning Arrow on my already lightning bow. Wait,
Look.
quick question, ma'am.
So, to the brig then?
Captain, I have a very serious question.
Yes, Captain.
Weren't these supposed to be the numbers 2 and 3 for the good lady who done hired us?
Are you referring to our ship, the Mosquito, or
No, I'm talking... One, you're not involved in this conversation.
Oh, it's just a moment.
Past tense pirates. No, the lady who done hired us with like the big thing in her hair, wasn't she? Like, I can't send Edward and Teach onto this because they've got a super secret mission and we're going to do this whole thing. So if we show up
you're right,
with
right.
their heads,
Well, you see,
then that
Coxswain,
means that
says Squab, who has realized that you have invoked the name of Lady Antierenum Oakenheel.
yes, Lady Antierenum Oakenheel.
Yes, yes, indeed. I've forgotten the voice that I used for him.
He's workshopping a lot of things. He just lost one of his lovers.
You know, I might be changing a lot about my identity. Hello there. Yes, yeah, indeed. These are the vampirates that would have had your job on account of the fact that they don't need air to breathe.
So let me get this straight. If one thing's perfectly clear. Lady Antierna Oakenheel could not send these two pirates to the direction of wild space that we are currently going because they were tailing us going in the direction that they could not be bothered to actually go.
Well, I bel-
they don't got a boat right now.
If
Right, but
I'm
did-
correct, well, okay, let me explain.
Right.
No need to, no extra mouths to feed.
Co-captains
Hello.
Edward and
Go ahead.
co-captains Edward and Teach are well-accomplished pirates. However, they have a nasty habit of flying their ship into other ships, which is usually all right in the account of a Shrike, which is designed for such a thing. But one too many times and the dang thing falls apart.
So they try to take over my wife as a ship, only to ram her into other ships.
Right. Here's what I'm thinking. Follow me on this. To the brig, we turn them in as going against the pirate code. You can't attack another pirate ship as pirates trying to take it over. Look, Lady Antebellum Oaken and
Lady Amberlyn Drive.
The lady.
whatever. She'll be happy that we're bringing them back.
So we only need one to send a message, miss.
Oh, you're right. Is there anything y'all can offer us? You don't need to eat, right?
No.
So no more mouths to feed. Which one of you is the most funny? Do something funny. Everyone do something funny and we'll judge it.
Oh my god. Okay. That's the most terrifying thing to say to somebody out of nowhere. What's the funniest thing that somebody can do? They all break into individual clown routines
Okay.
where like one just starts doing a jig, one does physical comedy and just like, you know, like acts like a mime and like pretends to fall down some stairs. Teach just like starts like making funny faces like this is beneath him. And
Just kill me.
I will if you let me.
Edward starts making pirate jokes. He says, what's a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
X. It's where the treasure
Oh,
is.
you think
the
it would
C.
be R, but his first love be the sea.
That's very good. All right, let's have a vote. Do we kill all of them?
Aye.
Kill most, leave one, or leave all of them and just put them in the brig.
I have never made an objective choice in my life.
Well, we can't all be bisexuals. Come on.
My first vote goes down the list as you named him, Captain.
Right. Okay.
I'm cool killing.
Sawbones.
Wait.
Meat for the grinder.
They don't need to eat,
Right.
and they don't need to breathe.
Right. Let's just tow them behind the ship.
Keelhaul.
Let's tow them behind the ship. Once we get going fast enough, we cut it off and just let them float outside of our gravitational pull.
Right. We'll drop you off close to something,
Maybe.
but not that close.
I'll take it.
All right, let's
no,
kill all the
see,
shit out of
that's-
them.
They've been keelhauling themselves for
terrible.
months.
Yes. Look, you know what? At least this way they can have another adventure out of it, all right? And when we see you
right.
next time, pirates better, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right.
Sawbones pulls the captain aside. Just so you know.
Which one?
Oh,
Our
Maximus-
captain.
Our captain. I'm not talking to
Oh.
them.
Okay. There's
Right.
3 of them now.
Jesus Christ. Just so you know, if they do, in the high unlikely chance, survive re-entry on a habitable planet, we'll be badly burned.
Them?
Them.
Is that a problem for me?
I think it'd be funny as hell.
Oh, I see what we're talking about. All right, let's do the job we've got, and then we'll have some fun. All right, get back in your little dinghy.
No, it's too good for
Aye,
that.
aye,
Captain.
Captain.
What, do you want to just tie him up and hang him behind the ship?
Yes.
I believe they call that flying kites. Walks away.
Do as you like with him, Mr. Coxswain. I have other important things to deal with.
All right, one rope for each of you boys.
We only got one, so y'all need to share.
Yeah, Coxswain is gonna like tie each of them up, and then throughout their
It's
journey,
just like ribbons.
yeah, throughout their journey, like while they're off in the back, like him and the Chewinga fly
Like-
a kite every once in a while, and then tie it back up.
Like cans behind a newly
Yeah,
married couple.
yeah. Every once in a while, he'll have a few drinks and just make pot shots in their general direction with his bow. Just having fun
Incredible.
with it.
All right.
Are we the baddies? Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Of course we are.
No, of course. You're pirates.
We're not baddies.
Anti-heroes.
Anti-heroes, yes.
All right. So, do you deliver Slip to their final
Yeah.
destination?
Fuck it.
Yes.
Okay.
That was our job.
It was a hostage exchange, essentially. Well, it's not an exchange; it's a ransom. It's an exchange of sorts, but like it implies that there's another hostage that you guys need to pick up. No, your hostage is money, which they give to you. Just a gigantic chest full of gold.
Dragon aside, it was very pleasurable to travel with you, Slip.
Yes, it was pleasant to travel with you as well.
Handshake, handshake. Walk away.
I hope you have a great life. Don't steal any more dragon eggs.
I can't make any promises.
Right.
Try
well,
not
don't
to
make it my
kidnap people
problem.
carrying. Try not to kidnap people carrying dragon eggs.
Or did we kidnap?
No, I don't
We
think so. I
didn't.
think it was just a prison transfer for us. I
That
mean,
wasn't really
someone else
on
did.
our decision. No.
No. You know what?
Oh.
Next time, strip search. Am I right?
It wasn't a dig. It's just general advice.
Right.
Then like
Okay.
waves with a pseudopod.
Ta-ta.
Off they go, reunited with their family. Petunia gives one last hamster roar, and you guys take off, trailing vampirates behind you.
Mhm.
Do you guys want to have a montage on your way back, or is this a suitable closure to our story? Do you think?
I think this is suitable closure.
I think that the post-credit scene though is definitely us like driving towards a planet, sort of like using our speed, cutting the rope right as they hit the atmosphere, and seeing them
Slingshotting the pirates into Atmo.
and we're all just like, ah!
Louis does the Eldritch Claw to just like rip them up, or
Yeah.
like rip up the ropes.
And then we all do a jump.
We
Freeze
ODST shock
frame.
troop them. Oh my god.
Look, you and I both have the push-pull fucking attack, so like when they get to the border of our gravity, just boom, just pop them a little bit farther.
Do we get like the black and white
Incredible.
text of what everyone does at the end of it?
Yeah. Coxswain stays with the ship and goes on to be the dad for thousands of more beetles.
You know what? I 100% forgot that you had insects as your children, and
Yeah.
I just pictured Coxswain just have like a whole bunch of like actual children out.
I find an abandoned planet and I make it mine.
Sawbones visits Slip every periodically. They get up to science.
Yeah.
Air quotes, science.
Maximus gets a little bit more competent, but mostly just like it's just her bagpiping on the front of a ship with like fire.
Lupin stays on for about 2 or 3 more jobs. On those 2 or 3 more jobs, he gets Coxswain in the kitchen, making sure his fucking bugs stay out to the best of his ability. But eventually, he has a calling to try and find a sect of heretic Malorites, and has to follow that calling.
Hell
All right.
yeah.
I think that we will close with a group shot of everybody striking poses on the deck, with the Chewinga included, imitating the bagpipes on Maximus's shoulder. And you fly off into the stars.
Excellent. Wings, thank you so much for running this game. I know that we initially slotted it as a one-shot, but I think that this was enjoyable enough that we were able to run it into 2. So again, thank you so much for running this. I had an absolute blast. But I always have a blast whenever you're on the show. Wings, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi everybody, I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings, most related to D&D and a lot of things on this channel. If you liked this one shot, feel free to watch the Curse of Strahd series that I ran on this channel. I've got kind of a thing for vampires, as it turns out, and they wormed their way into this Spelljammer game. So yeah, go and check that out. And tune into our Nights in the Courtyard after show for this episode for a after credits scene. DanaeKeener.com.
And if you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/IndoorAdventures. We do shows like this on Monday. Thursdays are up in the air right now. We're not currently doing anything on Thursdays, but that's while I get acquainted with a new work schedule as well as move at the end of this month. So Thursdays are on a little bit of a break. Who knows? They probably won't even be coming back as Thursdays, so stay tuned. But we also have Sundays at 5:30 p.m., and that is our Witchlight campaign for probably the next couple of weeks, and then it will also be on hiatus while I move and get adjusted to work schedule. The only thing that's going to be consistent is the 4 keep, so feel free to join us on that Monday. I'll have more announcements at the end of this. DanaeKeener.com. RJ, where you find me? What to do?
Hey everybody, you can find me at rjustice22 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life and sometimes stream with my friends. If you want to see me in other games, check out there. I would say more, but my throat hurts. DanaeKeener.com.
Hello, everybody. I'm LB Hackemup. You can find me at LB Hackemup on the Twitters and Twitches. This is Simon, different Simon, but named after the other Simon. You can find me next live tomorrow around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe playing Dead by Daylight. We'll see how I'm feeling. And then next time I'm gonna be live is on Thursday on YouTube with Nerd Immersion. Maybe we might be off this week. I don't remember, but we'll definitely be live on Friday. Nope, just kidding. I'm gonna go see a musical. Sunday for sure, playing D&D at LB Hackemup, where we are. We just left the Swamp of Oblivion, the Plane of Ooze, and we're heading to the Plane of Water. So yeah, DanaeKeener.com.
Hoi! I'm Cyber. You can find me at CyberWolf1 on Twitter, where I post deranged tweets. I can also be found on twitch.tv/CyberWolf1, where during this spooky, slutty month, we're playing Bayonetta. It's a good time. DanaeKeener.com.
And that is it for our show. So again, I'd like to say, Danae, thank you so much for running this Spelljammery one shot. I had a blast. We all know the Talk Like a Pirate Day was like 3 weeks ago, but that doesn't matter because the real Talk Like Your Pirate Day lives in your heart. So here, me mateys, that's where the X lies. But we are going to be heading into our Patreon supported after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other but also from the community. So if you have questions for myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to join us on our Discord. The link can be found in the Twitch chat to the side, or in the video or description, or the description of this video or audio cast down below. We'd love to see you there. But for now, that's our show. Have a great night, everybody, and remember, you are loved. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
Yarr.